Machines. They run these tools underneath those virtual machines, these JavaScripts, these bots, these tools, and effectively with stolen Steam accounts, or because the game is free to play, they can then just start invading servers like crazy and ruining experiences. It's not difficult to do any of this, and it's so frowned upon that even people in known cheating servers
Sometimes I wonder what the old me'd say if he could see the way things are today. He'd probably say that everything looks gay. Like happy. Son of a bitch. My stuff did not sell. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right, guys, I gotta go make the rest of my food. I'll be right back. Leave something on.
Completely pissed at each other as much as possible. Convey this idea that there's like these massive divides between us, and then they're going to fight each other instead of recognizing they're pretty much the same, like, or they're more nuanced than they think they are. And fuck, dude, that's how you.
Let's listen to 20 questions. All right, I'll be right back.
How did you come up with your username Asmongold?
To be honest, I actually don't know where the name came from, and I really mean this. I think back, and it's like whenever I was 10, I had the name. Whenever I was 8, well, I don't remember a lot whenever I was 8, so I'm not sure. But it was either a name that I just spontaneously came up with, or it was a name that was given to me by one of the older kids in a neighborhood whenever we were playing, you know, like secret agent code name games, right? So it's one or the other, but to be honest, I have no clue where the name came from.
Who is your favorite BTS member?
I am not that much of a boomer to not know what BTS is. I know it's K-pop, and that's where it stops. I have no idea.
How much do you think you've spent on fast food?
How much money have I spent on fast food? And this is gonna be like, let's assume that we're talking about in my entire lifetime. So 365, and then you think of that, I've been alive 33 years. So whatever 365 times 33 times 10 would be, assuming that it would be $10 every single day. You know, accounting for inflation both directions. So yeah, whatever that number would be, maybe the editors can, like, you know, put it on screen somewhere. Yeah.
What makes a game good?
A game is good if it makes you want to waste your time. A game is good is if you can spend 12 hours playing the game all day, ignore every other obligation in your real life, go to bed, and know that you did something that mattered.
How many hours do you have?
All right, I'll be like-
Wow.
Hours and WoW. Well, unfortunately, I know the answer to this question. It's about 35 to 40,000.
What's your current phone's wallpaper?
My current phone's wallpaper. Well, to be honest, this piece of I've had like, what, 4 or 5 years now, and I've never even changed the wallpaper. It still has the original default phone Samsung wallpaper. I thought it was nice. It had some flowers and it was just nice colors. So what's the reason of changing it? It's fine. The OTK Games Expo is returning for the 3rd year on June 4th. We'll have more games, more chaos, and a lot less tank tone, don't worry. Discover your next gaming obsession and don't miss any of the live action on June 4th on OTK's YouTube channel or on Zach Rar on Twitch. And if you're looking for something to play, you can head on over to OTKGamesExpo.com to check out the previously showcased games.
What can't you travel without?
The crazy thing about traveling in me is I hate it. So I'm trying to think about, what do I really like having while I'm traveling? I don't know, my phone? Like, the only thing I could really say is a way to get back.
What will you do after retiring from streaming?
What will I do after retiring from streaming? Simple question. Simple answer. Die.
How do you pronounce GIF?
I don't know. Is it pronounced the way that it's spelled or some other way that some moron invented? Oh, I wonder. It's GIF.
Yes, you're right, by the way. There's a right answer, you're correct.
It's not even a question.
I know, like, point to New York on a map.
Where's the map? Oh. It literally says it. But I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm gonna be honest because, like, you know, like, I got nothing to prove. I would have said it was this one. But it literally says, because I thought, I was like, as I saw the question and I was thinking in my head, I'm like, isn't that one that's in the water? It turns out, no, it's not. It's not the one that's in the water. That's Michigan.
$10 million or talk to Bobby Kochek for an hour?
Talk to Bobby for an hour. Man, I'm assuming I could ask him anything, but he could maybe have me killed if I ask him the wrong thing. So I'd probably take the $10 million.
If you had the chance to replay any game for the first time again, what would it be?
It's very hard for me to say this because in a way I want to say Dark Souls 1 and in a way I want to say Elden Ring. But I think that if I had to choose, I would go with Elden Ring.
What last movie or concert have you seen in a theater or venue?
Oh my God, the last time I saw a movie in the movie theater, this was back whenever I had a girlfriend. That was a long, long time ago. Oh man, I'm trying to think. I think I took her to see Maleficent 2. And it was at the Alamo Draft House and they had pizzas. So movie was great. I had a great time.
What's the most amount of money someone can spend on a gacha game before you would consider them a loser?
$1.
If you could delete a social platform, what would it be?
If I could delete a social platform, I'm gonna be honest, and that I know this might sound bad, but I'd delete Facebook. Because, like, let's be real, like, Facebook does not need to exist anymore. Every time I hear anything about Facebook, it's stupid. It's like, at least on Instagram, there's hot girls. The only thing on Facebook are conspiracy theories and bad memes.
Have you could give a Victorian child anything, what would it be?
A Victorian child? I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, we're talking about, like, the old days. I mean, damn, I'm trying to think. It's between a smartphone and a submachine gun. I don't know which one.
Who from OTK would you not let your daughter date?
Seer.
If there is a zombie apocalypse, who from OTK would die first?
S-Fan. Here's one. So, here's what would happen. So he'd find out that there's a zombie apocalypse, and then he'd have to make like 5 phone calls. And then after he made 5 phone calls, he'd have to talk to different people. And then there was going to be a call that he had to do. And then after that, there's an event on GTA that he still needs to finish. And then by the time that he did all of those things, the zombies would have already surrounded the house, and it would be too late.
Will you ever clean your house?
I've thought about cleaning the house. I mean, like, if I came home one day and the house was cleaned, I would be like, well, for a minute, I'd be like, where's all my shit? But then I'd be like, okay, this is fine. It's not really a big deal to me, right? If the house gets clean, that's nice. If not, it's fine.
Who's the most famous person you've met?
I don't know if I've really met anybody more famous than just like a streamer. Like, that's about it. I mean, I'm trying to think about it. Man, who else have I even met? I remember before he died, I talked to John McAfee. That was about it.
Rank the WoW expansions from worst to best.
This might be contentious, but it shouldn't be. The truth is that Classic WoW is the best and only true MMO, and every other, like if Classic WoW is S tier, the next expansion is B tier. So I would say like Classic WoW, Burning Crusade, Legion, Wrath, either Cataclysm or Mists of Pandaria, I'm not really sure. And then after that, really, who gives a shit?
What's the last thing you've Googled?
Let me see. What did I... Oh, jeez. I Googled myself.
You could trade places with any streamer, who would it be?
Trade places with any streamer. Maybe Soda, because he basically does the same shit that I do, except for he watches less YouTube videos. So yeah, I'd probably say Soda. Chance?
If you could ask Soda any question, what would it be?
Ask Soda any question. Why the f didn't you do RPGs back in the day? Like, I met a lot of the other streamers before any of us streamed, and it was great, but you were sitting there doing f***ing Arena the whole time? What about RPGs? They were way better. Yeah, I would have known you for like 15 years.
What's your favorite swear word?
If I said that, the video would get demonetized.
If you could have any guest on the podcast, who would it be?
It's crazy because like I probably would have had to worry and think about this more, but now I know exactly what the answer would be because you brought it up earlier, Bobby Kotick. I would love to have him on the podcast in person just so I could ask him a bunch of stupid questions. I would love that so much. But Elon Musk could be number 2. I'd ask stupid questions then too. Like, why are you still playing Diablo 4?
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Oh, what? I think I've known you for 30 years. You know how crazy that is?
31.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember the day we met.
Really?
At Baskin Robbins on Melrose.
Really?
Yeah.
Did we meet at Baskin Robbins?
Baskin Robbins. I got one of those memories like the girl from Taxi.
Oh, do you really?
You got a mint chocolate chip, double scoop, and I had peanut butter and chocolate.
I think you're making this up.
Well,
I think you're making this up. He's making this up.
I was like, oh, let's see how this goes. I was like,
Yeah, as soon as he was saying he's got a memory like the lady from Taxi, I was like,
I couldn't even remember her name.
That lady's got a crazy memory.
She does.
She can tell you like dates in 1972, what day it was.
Dude, I bumped into her at a sushi joint once, and she reenacted the day I lost my virginity. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
She remembered it.
How does she know?
Because
You
it
think
was
she's
her.
an alien?
Oh, it was her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She
She
was
popped
hot.
my cherry.
She was hot back in the day.
She drove my taxi.
Ooh.
Yeah.
She acted as your
man.
depot.
Wait, what's her name? Mary Lou Retna?
Something else. Almost done. Making it.
When it comes to the future of our country's workforce, many business owners fear we are in serious trouble.
As people here on this earth, we are not meant to work for our money.
Do you get what they call hungry?
I'm there to do what I'm being paid to do. I'm not here to do someone else's job.
There's something called paying your dues. It's really an investment in your future to go above and beyond.
Is above and beyond on my contract?
The most entitled generation in history.
Your generation is lazy. Y'all don't want to work these days.
Younger people just don't want to work.
Gen Z doesn't want to work.
I don't want to work.
I don't want to work anymore.
What is so wrong about quiet quitting?
Quiet quitting is a trend that started on TikTok and quickly took over the internet.
Quiet quitting, bare minimum Mondays.
Being gentler with yourself.
When it comes to having a job, I don't like it. My soul is meant to be free.
We love the internet, but I will tell you one thing, it's made you lazy. Oh, it's made you lazier than you ever thought you could be.
Work smarter rather than harder. If these companies want to use you, then use them back.
We want to quit because we're being taken advantage of.
We can't even afford to live. My generation is frustrated. We don't want to work anymore.
Well, it's a good deal if you can get it. Before the show, I spoke with 3 business owners who are worried about what they are seeing in the workplace from the younger generation. So joining me are Michelle, a veteran trial lawyer and law firm owner, as well as married business owners, Lucy and Eric. So you say right now you just won't hire Gen Z employees.
No, we don't. It's been a nightmare with 95% of the ones that we have hired. I once terminated an employee and her father called me 24 hours later asking how he could help get his daughter's job back. I'd never heard of that before. When I've lost my job, I didn't tell my parents to go call for me.
Daddy didn't call and get your job back?
He did not.
Yeah. Were you ever fired?
Oh, yes, sir. I've been fired.
Yeah, what for?
Oh, I had not coming to work once. You know, I was in my 20s and fresh out of the military and just kind of decided to do it my own way.
Oh, you were 20 before you got fired?
Yes, sir.
Hell, I got fired 20 times before I was 20. My first job was at a pizza place, and I got fired because I was too stupid to put the drinks on the ticket. I kept forgetting that. Then I worked at A&W Root Beer Stand, and right after I got hired, they decided to put everybody on skates. Not a good idea. There's still hamburgers rolling down the street. Now, 65% of employers say they have fired a Gen Z employee, and 50% of them say they fired them real recently. Have you had to get rid of Gen Z employees?
Absolutely, and one of the reasons is social media. It's hard to do your job and work if you're on Instagram all day. You have to actually put your phone down and do some work.
But what do you do about the tremors and seizures if they put their phone down? Don't they start shaking?
Right. You got to have good insurance, you know, but yes, it's a problem.
You actually walked in to a new Gen Z hire that'd been there like a week, and they had their feet up on the desk.
I walked into their office and sort of, jumped back a little bit because literally her feet were kicked up on the desk. She had brought in her coffee maker in the bag, had like a little blanket. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a law firm. And so what are we doing?
Eric, you had one that showed up dressed like Harry Potter, posting videos.
They were doing Harry Potter TikToks. Yep, I can't make this up. And then they told me they were working, and I was like, well, a client didn't get a hold of you. And then I turned on TikTok later on that evening, and I saw when it was posted, and I was like, are you kidding me?
And listen, in fairness, that's not everybody in the generation, but it is a lot. And you've seen it.
Personally, I think it boils down to obviously how they're raised. And right now, this generation is being raised by the internet. And my husband and I have 2 26-year-old children that are not on social media, not because we don't allow it, they're 26 years old, but because they see the ridiculousness of what it is.
Everybody here, young and old, you do get when you put stuff on social media that's public, right? We had a guest that lost his apartment and he got a job and it was COVID, so people weren't really working in the office. And so he just moved into the office and was living in his cubicle and he posted it on Instagram. He was touring people around and the next morning they came in and said, you can't live here.
Happy
Happy Bare Minimum Monday, everyone. This is where things like quiet quitting, bare minimum Mondays, the snail girl era all came in. It's about just doing the bare minimum and just do your job,
I'm back.
clock out,
Breakfast,
go home.
boys.
I'm really not feeling it today. I think I'll roll in sometime around 10:30 when I feel like it.
This younger generation of people who do not want to work. As an owner of a business, I've seen it time and again. It does not work that way. You cannot build legacy and be lazy at the same time.
Now, my next guest, Toyin, says her lazy girl job is not about working less. It's about protecting her precious time and energy.
If you were looking for a lazy girl job, I got the job for you, girl. And all these like, girl boss the heck out of your life. No. Now, when it comes to a job, I do not want a girl boss. I need a lazy girl job. I am a front desk check-in person only. Emphasis on the only. Can I get an amen? I'm going to get into my 60-day review of my lazy girl job because it is time. It is time. It is time. It is time. My time is my time. Dinner, the kitchen, everything's getting cleaned. I have a very hard time separating my work life from my personal life. When people pay you that much money, they expect you to sell your soul. It's okay to just stay in my lane. I don't have to overachieve. I don't have to prove myself. I do want to work. I just do not want to work hard.
Okay, Toyin, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You say you have no problem telling your employer no if they ask you to do something outside your job description. Does that happen a lot?
Absolutely. Every day I go to work and I'm expected to be cross-trained without any bump in pay. I'm expected to cover for people who, quite frankly, they decide when and if they want to come to work. And it's just part of my job to do their work just because I'm there and it's a team effort. And so no, I'm not going to overextend myself and bend over backwards for companies who don't take all the little nuances of being an employee of theirs into consideration.
What do you do?
So I'm a patient care coordinator. I just make sure that the waiting room is taken care of and that people are seated and get to see their doctor on a timely manner.
So what's the last thing your boss asked you to do that you said, no, not going to do that?
Verifying insurance. I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Because I don't want to.
And you don't think that while you're there, getting paid to be there, that you're subject to doing whatever needs to be done while you're there? You're a specialist.
I'm a specialist, yes. That's a very good way to put it because while I'm there, I'm only there to do what I'm being paid to do.
That's a terrible approach to work because there's an opportunity cost of doing the bare minimum. People notice excellent work. And with that then comes opportunity for growth and career advancement. And so people in your generation look at it as they're not paying me and they're not going to take my time and steal my time. But it's really an investment in your future to go above and beyond because the people higher up, depending upon where you want to go in life, will notice that kind of work. So I disagree completely with that approach.
Is above and beyond on my contract?
That's the mentality shift that I'm suggesting that you make if you want to go beyond where you're at today.
What do you guys think about this?
I mean, I'm a serial going above and beyond person because it's where it's gotten me in my life and in my career. And did I always get paid for it? No. But what I value more is my integrity as who I am as a person. And I think the disconnect is that you're representing the woman of today and the woman of the future. And that is important because younger girls that are trying to decide what it is that they want to do with their lives and their careers are now seeing, hey, you know what? You're going to get kudos for doing the bare minimum. It's the total wrong way to work at life as well as a career.
But they're not calling you at like 11:45 at night and saying, hey, want you to take these 11 files and call and check on something.
I wouldn't even pick up the phone.
Yeah, I suspect, A, it's already in your hand, and you just are saying you wouldn't answer it. Yeah.
That's a total breach of personal space.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel like when it comes to the people that I represent, and especially women and Black women in the corporate world, I feel like we have to continuously strive for excellence, yes, but at the same time, the sacrifices that we have to make in order to get that excellence is not even seen as good enough.
Doing the least, doing the bare minimum does not represent corporate America or corporate women, or certainly Black women in corporate America. How would you know if you've never tried to go above and beyond?
I have tried it.
And it's failed you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, corporate has failed me.
So the problem is there's something called paying your dues. And so when you say it's failed you,
gonna give it some
how
water.
long did you give it? 3 months?
It's a good breakfast.
6 months? I think you're failing yourself.
What's good? What's good? Sorry I'm late here. Was just, scrolling TikTok. But should I be taking notes right now? All right, time for the first meeting of the day. It's 9 on the dot. Where is everyone? Oh, there they are. Happy Monday, everyone. All right, I guess it's just one of those camera off Mondays, I guess. Ethan and Cruz, we'd really love to see your guys' participation on this. No, I'm good. I'm not really feeling the vibes on this one. I don't feel like typing out a whole essay just for management to ignore it anyways, so I'm good. Later, y'all.
Well, I believe America was built on the idea of a meritocracy, and those who add value reap the rewards. But right now, many young employees are loudly refusing that value system. In fact, they claim putting in extra time, work, and effort to get ahead at work is an old and outdated way of thinking. Now, my next guest, Ryan, is a labor law attorney who is a champion for the quiet quitting and lazy girl job movement.
If you are a quiet quitter, I have a message for you. You are right. Quit early, quit often. Employers are just going to fire you for no reason. So is it any wonder that workers are quiet quitting? You get that dream job, but you have to think of why you want that dream job. Ever since I was a kid, I just wanted to be a firefighter. That's all I ever wanted. I wanted to be a hero. If I could talk to my younger self, I'd say, Ryan, this dream job, it's not a dream, it's a nightmare. Don't sacrifice your friendships. Don't sacrifice your family, because you're going to be 34 years old and you're not going to be able to call your best friend because you burned that bridge. You're going to look at your dad's wall with the family and there's going to be pictures of them on trips and you're not in them. I RSVP'd to weddings and didn't show up. I said I would be at birthdays and I didn't show up. That's the price I paid for my dream job. I came back from an almost 2.5-week strike team assignment. I didn't have any missed calls. But even my family, I was pushing away. All because just be a firefighter. Be the best firefighter you can be. No missed calls.
Ryan, it's still hard for you to think about all the memories you lost, things that you missed working so hard in your 20s, right?
It is.
You say no employer is entitled to free labor, extra work, and I don't disagree with that. And I think that we are in a transient society where there's no institutional memory anymore. People used to work for 20 years, get a gold watch, retirement. Now they may come in, fire you at 19 years, 51 weeks, and no retirement, no gold watch, no nothing. Things have changed.
Yeah, and imagine all the sacrifice that person makes. I deal with a lot of people who suddenly lose their job for various reasons. Sometimes it's illegal. Honestly, most of the time it's not. But it's a damn shame. You get people who say, I gave up everything for this company. And now a year before my pension vest, a year before I was going to be set, they let me go. They laid us off. They acquired another company, new division, I'm redundant, I'm done, and now I have nothing.
But is the answer to that to play the game poorly along the way? Because look, my belief is that you make your own way and that everybody is in business for themselves.
I agree with
You're in business for yourself. You're in business for yourself. All of you, we're all a CEO of one. And you got to look in the mirror once in a while and say, how's this working for me?
100%.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have balance. If you're working for a psychopath, kick his ass to the curb, kick her ass to the curb, and go do something else. But that doesn't mean you should represent yourself poorly wherever you are.
When you exhaust yourself for an employment relationship that is inherently one-sided, where there isn't a reward, you do not become the best version of yourself. And that's when you start to push away things that matter to you, your family, your friends.
But how do you assume that just across the board?
Well, how do we assume across the board that these people who are quiet quitting are undermining or sabotaging their employers? They're not. They're protecting themselves.
Well, no, I said if you're working with somebody that's exploitive, most of the people here at the Dr. Phil show have been with me the entire way, 21 years. And I had a rule, week number 1, family first. And you know what? They didn't take advantage of that. The co-EP, Justin, who you've worked with on this show, has been promoted 9 times. He started out at entry level and he's now co-EP of this show. There are organizations that reward good work and good behavior.
Yes, there are. And there are opportunities out there. We're saying give yourself the space to find those opportunities, because part of the reason it's such a special story, the reason we like hearing about Justin, who worked his way up, is because of how rare it is becoming in America. We are at a place in the past 20 years where worker productivity is up, but wages are not keeping up with that level of productivity. People are getting squeezed. We've lost sight of what real leadership is. Part of the reason you're successful here is because you opened up and showed an investment in your people. You didn't demand loyalty from day one. You commanded in it. You saw a spark, you invested in the spark, you respected boundaries, and that's why we're here in this successful studio. But organizations who insist on ruling with an iron fist because they're entitled to loyalty without giving anything in return, they're gonna fail. And of course their productivity is gonna slump.
Yeah, well, I got about 90% women working here. You don't iron fist.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Trained by
Dude, look at the confidence that young males have today. They have no confidence. You know why they don't have any confidence? Because it's, I don't want to listen to you cry. I don't want to listen to you moan. Here's a phone.
Digital
Look at
babysitter,
that.
yeah.
When you give your kid a phone, you're not giving them access to the world. You're giving the world access to
Yo, 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 what's up? This is John with the Dr. John Deloney Show, a show about your mental and emotional health, your relationships, your marriage, the good stuff, the scary stuff, the bad stuff, all of it. How do we make sense of a world that has gone sideways? And more importantly, how do two people sit down and have a conversation with each other who both love each other, who want the best for each other, and who may disagree on things? That leads me to one of my favorite guests of all time, ever, and a good buddy here. He's one of my neighbors here in Nashville, and I'm excited today for you to listen to a conversation between me and my good friend. He was a former Navy SEAL, CIA operator, a Blackwater employee, and now he has got his own famous Fancy Pants YouTube and podcast show. His name is Sean Ryan, and if you haven't heard of him, man, he's all over the place, one of the largest shows on the planet, talking about everything from military stuff and secrets and secret energy and UFOs and psychedelic, all the stuff that they just don't want you to know about. And if you ever listen to this show for a second, I'm always talking about like, all right, that's why I love this guy. We have lunch together here in town. We always have interesting discussions, and he is as real as
just
they
flying
come. On the show, we talk
flying
about
all over
how's
the
a civilian supposed to
world.
treat a veteran. Like I'm kind of
Doing
over
what we
just
need
saying, like, thank you
to
for your
get
service,
the
and going home,
job
you know,
done.
buying my stuff at Walmart. What am I supposed to do? We talk about his mental health journey that does include psychedelics, and we also get into some hard, deep water, talking about what is he optimistic about moving forward into the future, and what terrifies him. What keeps a former Navy SEAL CIA operator up at night? Somebody who has seen the worst of the worst of the worst. Now, I want to make this super clear going into this. You will disagree with some part of this show, period. This show's not for kids. You will have disagreements with things that I say or don't say. You'll have disagreements with things that Sean says or doesn't say. You will have your feathers ruffled. And I love that because I'm on your team. And hopefully you're listening to the show, you're on our team. And I would be there for Sean in a heartbeat. I know he'd be there for me in a heartbeat. And when we go to lunch, I'm like, I don't know about that, dude. He's like, no, for real. And then he'll say, I think you're wrong on that. And that's how we get to the truth. Iron sharpens iron. And so, on this special Memorial Day release, I'm excited for you to hear my conversation with my good friend and just a guy who's committed his whole life to service, Sean Ryan. Check it out. Some of the things I want to talk to you about today are just personal questions I've had, and you can shed some light on. You're going to speak on behalf of the entire community for some of these groups, which people love to do, right?
Oh boy!
And then the second thing is you and I are in kind of similar stages, and so I'm going to ask just your wisdom on some things because you have some experiences that I don't have, and you've got some. I've made some mistakes along the way, and I'm looking back, going, "Oh, dude, what do I do now?" And then that's where you are because your kids are younger than mine, so. Broad picture, OG Navy SEAL teams, CIA operator stuff. Like you've been all over the world. For our listeners, real quick, how would you parse off the difference between like Navy SEALs versus then we went and did CIA operation stuff. Then I worked for some private. Like what's a quick way to just say here's the difference between those things?
Well, here's the difference between the SEALs and the agency,
right? And then private stuff.
Well, so kind of like my evolution into the agency was I was a SEAL for 6 years. That's basically kicking doors and sniper stuff, direct action, kind of the just first guys in special operations stuff. And then from there I got into the private stuff, but the private stuff was still the agency stuff. So you got to think of it like this. Like there was all these companies, Blackwater, SOC, Triple Canopy, MVM, DynCorp, right? And so we're called contractors, government contractors. So it's really not any different than like if you have a contractor to build a house.
I was going to say, when I think of contractor, I think of a sheetrock guy.
You go to a general contractor, and then he gets the guy that's going to do the bathroom, and he gets the plumber and the electrician and the roof and the windows and all these different people, right? And so when the government needs things done, they go to a contractor like Blackwater, and the Blackwater under the umbrella at Blackwater or DynCorp, MVM, or any of these places, it's, well, what do you need done? What kind of guys are you looking for? Do you want law enforcement type guys? Do you want regular infantry type guys? Do you want DEA guys? Do you want FBI guys? Do you want special operations guys? What do you want? What's the job? What kind of clearance do they need to have? And so the agency needs special ops guys with a high clearance level, and so that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. And so it started at Blackwater and then moved over to some other companies. And then I left, did some anti-piracy stuff off the coast of Yemen and Somalia. Did that for not very much time at all, 2 pumps.
As a civilian, why would the entity I pay my taxes to need to go outsource what I would consider one of their chief jobs, which is to keep us safe? Why would they need to outsource that?
Yeah.
Is it a manpower thing? Is it we can't do it because of our laws and we need somebody else to just take care of it? Like why would they outsource that?
I mean, it's a little bit of everything. One, your tax dollars, it's actually cheaper to get government contractors in because then they're not paying for benefits, retirements, any of that stuff.
Oh, so it's cheaper for me if I go hire my own drywall guy, my own roofer guy, versus just hiring a GC and saying, I'll give you 10%, just take care of all of it.
Yeah, because we're not an employee, Okay. And so so I know that's really boring, right? It's probably not the answer you're looking for.
I was hoping you'd be like, but no, I always just wondered, why do we have all these contracts and why do we pay all these things? Well, it's very similar. I like that analogy. It's like buying a house or building a house.
There's a lot of reasons. That is probably the number one reason that, it's like from a broad spectrum, of all government contracting. But then, there's also plausible deniability with things like CIA. There is a lot of red tape that the government can't get around, but a civilian contracting company can get around that. And so, the U.S. military can't do certain things. Central Intelligence Agency doesn't want to pay credit for certain things. And so government contractors is kind of, how that kind of stuff can be done.
My career was in colleges, universities, and there was a trickle of students coming in that were veterans. And then over the last 20 years, obviously more and more combat veterans have come in who are rolling off. More and more, National Guard folks are rolling in. And then it became en masse, right, as people started coming in. I noticed two things happen. One is it boggles my mind, again, as a taxpayer. When I think of the taxes I write every year, I just paid my taxes recently, right? Just filed all the paperwork. That these men and women who go and put the two most important things in their world on the line for me, which is their time, right? Like they take 4 years out of their life, their earning potential, all this stuff, and they put it over here, right, for service. And then the potential that you can get killed doing that, right? Then to come back, and we've seen like an influx of like you special ops guys who like starting businesses and trying to do this and do this with that training they got. As a taxpayer, my first thought is, why in the world are those guys having to go make money? They've done their thing. Like if I, as a taxpayer, have one thing I would like to put on the table, it would be, you get a house at least, for God's sake, right? Or you get insurance, for crying out loud. You get a salary. You've done the thing, right? You've done 6 years, a decade, or whatever it is. And so am I wrong that you get off and you get a high five and like, go get them, and then it's out in the wild?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think look, there's two sides to this. If you just hand them everything too, then you are victimizing an entire, demographic of people.
Okay. So not saying, okay, now you have to continue to go earn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of my thought.
Okay.
I think they're, with the same caveat to that is that the assistance that you do get is complete garbage.
Yeah, it's silly.
You got guys, I've had guys that I know that are missing limbs, missing their leg, missing their arm, maybe both, and they don't even have full medical benefits, and then you get a guy who sat behind a desk for 4 years and maybe went to Afghanistan and maybe heard a rocket explode 5 miles away, and they're getting full benefits.
So it's kind of just a mismatch.
Yeah, it kind of comes down a lot of the times. The way it works out, unfortunately, is the guys that sit behind the desk or the guys that are not in a combat MOS are really good at working the system. Just like when you go, everybody complains about government employees, the post office, the DMV, law enforcement. Where it's really hard to fire a government employee, and they learn how to work the system. Guys that are actually out there fighting, they don't have time to work the system, to learn the system. They don't want to be in the system. They're not the turds that are going to medical, building a medical record so that they can get a retirement. And so what happens is you'll get these guys that, like I said, the desk jockeys, and they'll build these, and not all of them. I'm not saying that about all of them.
Of course.
But they'll build a file. They'll build a case. They'll spend 4 years. Oh man, I fell down the stairs. Oh, I bumped my head on a filing cabinet. They'll do like this, and then guys like myself who are in special ops, we don't want to go to medical. We don't even want to report any injuries because that might get you pulled off of an op, which the whole reason you join is to go on ops. And so,
and that costs you down the road, right?
Oh yeah.
Whenever you're circling back, like, well, you should have filed that then.
Yep, exactly.
Wow. So one thing that has begun to frustrate me over the years is it's kind of like the high five is the phrase, thank you for your service.
Mm-hmm.
And so it becomes like here you go. And that way it's like a nod, right? You nod to somebody. As a civilian, do you have a couple of ideas of ways I can love and be a good community member to folks coming back? And it can be as simple as the guy with still wearing the Vietnam vet hat, the real tall one, like in at the Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Where I can acknowledge that guy, all the way to one of my coworkers just gets hired, and I find out we're having lunch that they were deployed a couple of times. What are ways I can, as a civilian, not just say thank you for your service and then go about my day?
Yeah. I mean, just find different words to say. You know what I mean? Like the Vietnam
Am I
generation.
wrong on that?
No, you're not.
Okay.
But speaking for the veteran community too, though, I mean, you're only going to get so much. It was a voluntary program. Nobody twisted your arm, to go in there, unless maybe you're in the Vietnam generation. But the big
what's
saying
up?
with the Vietnam generation?
Do I have any interest in artists, arts?
So when you see that guy,
So you're more than welcome to
instead
join
of
my
saying,
Discord and send me
"Thank you
some
for your
art
service,"
that
which
you
isn't
have.
bad.
I'll
Nobody
take a look
says
at it. I'm not in the market right now,
barely anybody.
but I
actually
appreciate
just
you
says
coming
it.
by and
I
saying
don't know
hi.
why.
Okay.
But just go up to him, and be like, hey, welcome home, man. Appreciate what you did. Or the newer generation coming back from the GWAT, just, hey, I just want you to know I really appreciate what you did over there, and
So acknowledgement still
acknowledgement is great.
Okay.
That's all you can ask, and as a veteran, for all veterans, like that's all you can ask is
Is it embarrassing or annoying if somebody picks up somebody's tab?
no, I think it's great.
Hello. Hey. What's up?
Farewell.
Kitchen, but strawberry.
Ooh, that sounds good. Alrighty. Yeah. All right. Are you gonna hang out here for a little bit? Oh, gotcha. Well, if you go over, I might go over with you or something. All right, baby. I love you. See you soon. When you get here, I am streaming, just so you know. Love you. Bye.
Great.
Okay. All right.
It just shows appreciation, and I think that's other than all the psychological problems and stuff like traumatic brain injury and like a lot, it just shows appreciation, and I think for all veterans, like that's all you can ask is
it embarrassing or annoying if somebody picks up somebody's tab?
No, I think it's great.
Okay. All right.
It just shows appreciation, and I think that's other than all the psychological problems and stuff like traumatic brain injury and the stuff that you see, I think a lot of vets that's what they feel. They carry a lot of resentment because they don't feel appreciated, and I think a lot of them don't feel appreciated. I mean, you see the news cycle, you see the social programs that are benefiting people that aren't even citizens of the country, and it's like, well, what about can I just I don't know, maybe I could get a new prosthetic, like leg. Maybe? No? Okay. I'll go find a nonprofit to do it.
Sure. I'm sorry that the link isn't working.
I don't have a prosthetic leg.
No, I know. Yeah.
But yeah.
Discord's always so good at not working.
A lot of it causes a lot of resentment, but for any vets that are listening, it's not getting any better. So
invite people.
Well, and for me, that becomes an important thing to communicate to our neighbors, right? Or to the civilian neighbors, of which there's way more civilian neighbors than there are not, right? Which is, take the time. Like if you walk into a restaurant and see somebody with a hat on, pick up their meal. Like, do that, right? That's not a lot. And if you
are, here's a link for you.
Make sure you reach out and say, hey, just have your kids say thank you, right? Like little things like that.
Man, even if it's just on the right days.
Exactly.
Memorial Day, that's a big one. For anybody who fought and lost buddies, or families who have lost loved ones, that's a big one. Just, hey, I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you today. Veterans Day. I mean, Veterans Day will come, and I'll probably get like a text. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Don't.
What are you doing today, Miranda?
That's the kind of that makes you feel unappreciated.
So are you just an artist, or do you like to game too? You enjoy playing video games?
To file this much paperwork just so, hey, I'm starting to have headaches again, right? Yeah. And it feels like you're just pushing upstream to live, and then your wife gets pregnant, and your body starts.
Oh. Do-do-do. There you go. Accepted you. There you go. Yeah, that's. Do 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 do. Do do do. All right.
What brings you here?
Or bad news. Very well. Thank you for risking your life to enter the temple and learn what you did, and for bringing word back to me. I must inform the other druids so that we may determine what to do next. Thank you for now. I may call upon you again in the future.
Farewell.
Okay. Oh, cool. I like your art. Very interesting. Well, if I'm ever in the market, I will take you into consideration. Oh shit. Hello, Triumphy. I was just standing here taking in the scenery, and I just couldn't help but overhear your predicament. Fortuitously, I think I can provide just what you need to help you with your little evil devouring nightmare. Okay. You likely know of the gnomish mechanic Ziri Little Sprocket. I do. Well, she's quite the genius and was kind enough to lend me her talents to help me create something that I think you'll find incredibly useful in your current predicament. Set a void. Where am I from? You're from Canada? From the United States, but I'm live in New Mexico. Impressive. A set of void covered powered VAM bracers constructed utilizing particularly impressive piece of gnomish technology that someone was kind enough to find and repair for her. Oh, that was me. Impressive gnomish technology that someone recovered. Let me guess. These special bracers utilize pristine G core processor unit. How astute. I'm glad you are able to keep up at any rate. Jerry was feeling inexplicably inspired by when she created this item, and has some truly astonishing properties, not the least of which is able to impart a portion of my willpower upon the bearer and shield them from, let's say, external mental interferences, such as example of an aura of all encompassing dread. Okay. You visited New York? That's awesome. So are you pretty close to like the border over there where Niagara Falls is, I would guess? If only that were so. Unfortunately, I recently lent the VAM braces to someone who was proven to be regrettably quite the disappointment. You see, you aren't the only adventurer with whom I've treated with. There was another adventurer of some apparent renown whom I recently recruited and equipped with this item in hopes that he would venture into the dream and dispose of the nightmare beast for good of Azeroth. It seems, however, that he's in a dereliction of his duty. He's also dropped from my sight, so if I had to guess, I bet on him lying dead in a ditch somewhere. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, that is going to be where the tricky part is. Since he is no longer wearing the bracers, I've completely lost track of him. I need you to go out into the wide world and find this adventurer, dead or alive, and recover the void-powered bracers, VAM bracers. He is a gnomish warrior, and I was last aware of his presence somewhere in the Eastern Kingdom. It's not much to go on, but you are nothing if not resourceful, so I'm sure you'll manage. Okay, so let's go over here to Wowhead. Okay. So I gotta go find this injured gnome. Okay. All right, to Booty Bay we go.
Can I help you? Be careful.
Dude, we're gonna get some sick shoulders, boys. I'm so hyped.
No. Listen. Keep it up. You and I. Yeah. My policy. Amen. Yes. You talk.
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna make myself a cough button.
Need assistance? Be seeing you. My, you're a tall one.
Hey there. See you later.
talk to me. Glad I could help.
Ishnu Dal Dieb. Good luck, friend.
Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna go hang out with the gal. Should I'll turn on the BRB screen, boys and gals. I'll be back. Go take a little smoke. What up? I'm back. All right, let's run back over to this guy that I already ran on. This tilted me, dude. This one got me. This one got me. So I gotta get this lag problem figured out. I'm just stuttering constantly. I'm not even on that high of graphics. Hopefully I fixed it. It's so annoying. And we go to the gnome.
Hey there. Safe travel.
What are we gonna get my mom, babe? What are we gonna get my mom? Huh?
Be amazing. And that's just this. Next time.
Pleased to meet you.
Forgive me. I don't get if I don't get up. Forgive me. I don't get up. I'm recovering from a recent battle with a particularly vile foe. This may sound strange, but have you recently had contact with a woman made of inky black shadows? Oh my word, yes. She sent you to find me. Well, you can tell her I am quite indisposed at the moment. I am no longer in the position to complete the quest she sent me upon. Oh no.
Daylight's burning.
Okay.
Interesting. Off and
The
away.
Lost Van Bracers. Oh my gosh, they're lost, dude. See, I'm a knight of some renown, and I recently took it upon myself to rid the land of a particular terrible evil, making its home on my nearby island to the east. When I found the vile creature, I truly epic battle was met. We must have fought for hours until at least I sent the beast into the full retreat, no doubt run off to succumb to its wounds. I was barely able to make it back to town myself before I collapsed in exhaustion. The Van Bracers must have slipped from my arm during the battle. Find the lair of the beast that injured the gnome that I was referring to and recover the void power Van Bracers.
He's seeing you.
Get him. Quicker just to swim around this way, do you think? Might be. Pretty glad that they extended this patch. I needed a little break. I needed to figure out a new perspective to play WoW. Instead of this like content creator mind. Gotta get in there and get the gear, dude. What I really want. I want to look better than you. I've decided in Warcraft. That Elden Ring is coming out soon. That should be fun. But I haven't actually played Elden Ring. I need to play Elden Rings. Look at all these idiot warlocks over here on the beach. Shouldn't they be in a cave somewhere, like worshiping the devil? Criminy, dude. Sophie, did we just burp at the same time? Or by burp shul? Or burp parallel? Burp parallel? Did he kill? Oh my god, he's trying to kill me. Bitch. I blind you. I love that we can come over here because the gnome got his ass kicked. think it's probably not even dead. Probably got like poked. Go on. I want to fight you.
I'm out of range.
Small. Bro, find the monster's lair. Itty bitty Murloc. The young Murloc looks at you and makes a cute gurgling sound. You notice there's a pile of dirt next to the Murloc, perhaps a burrow just of some sort. Maybe you should check it for the Vam bracers. Okay. I checked it. You found a small burrow belonging to the adorable and seemingly friendly young Murloc. Surely this isn't the beast that the gnome was referring to. The tiny Murloc makes a small gurgling noise and proceeds to burp up a pair of slime covered Vam bracers to your feet. This is so funny, dude. This little bitty Murloc kicked that. Dude, that. You picked the wrong guy the first time. All right, so now we gotta go back up here, all the way over here. You put these on. Jeez. He's great, dude. Whole team, dude. What time is it? 11:10. Ew. Oh, okay. Silly. I told Ellie I should listen more often, but
Interested in a pint? What's your deck?
aren't you getting in first? Are you taking a shower? What? Alright guys, I gotta go take a shower. See you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching.